What up,
What
guys?
What's
We
good?
live. Let's go.
Yes.
So, hey, today's show, we're going to talk pregame about this big matchup versus the Lions this weekend. Great game, guys. This is a big game for the Chargers. Hopefully, keep the momentum going. We've been having some good vibes in the last couple games, so let's just go ahead and get into it, guys.
Woo,
Bolt
bros.
Let's go.
Let's go.
I'm Deion Henley. You watching the Bolt Bros podcast? Let's do it!
Yo, nice.
We here, man.
Yeah,
I
here.
can't wait for this game. It's crazy because we had a game on Monday night, but it feels like it's been a long time since we've seen a game though still. And it's like it's a shorter week essentially for the Chargers, but man,
Much shorter week.
It is a
much
bit
shorter week, man. But I'm excited, man. I'm excited about this game. This is a massive game, just like what Aether says.
Yeah.
Hugh game. Hugh Hefner
Hugh.
game.
It's a Hugh game.
Yeah.
Hugh game. Hey, there we go.
Like all of a sudden we got
Kyle,
like
sound
Saturday Night
effects.
Fever over here, dude, or something.
I know.
Dude. Some disco going on here.
This is-
Hugh game. I like that.
Hugh game, baby. Oh man. But
All right,
we got
so,
a bunch of slides we want to go over, guys. So once again, hey, I want to throw out Happy Veterans Day once again, guys. I
Yes.
made sure I threw out my Chargers veterans jersey on today. So
there you go.
so I had to do that today. But yeah, Happy Veterans Day to all the veterans out there. So I appreciate all you guys and what you guys do for the country and everything too. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. So
So
well, we got some slides to go over here, guys. So let's start out with the injury report, which is, man, I haven't seen an injury report like this I can't even remember the last time we had an injury
Yeah.
report like this. I mean, it's unbelievable to see what's going on here. Like,
yeah.
I mean, Joey Bosa basically went out with an illness, came back. I think he had the bubble guts or something. I don't know. Came back full practice on Friday. Good to go. Justin Herbert. Obviously, we got the finger injury. You know, I'm really wondering if he's going to get his finger cast off here soon. Like, I mean, I think he was saying 6 weeks. We're getting pretty close to that, right?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Getting real close to that point. So there, and then Michael Davis got thrown on the report on Friday, but it doesn't look like he's out or doubtful or anything. It sounds like it's just maybe he's got the bubble guts too. Maybe there's something bad at the cafeteria. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's a really good report for once. I mean, this is unbelievable to see, guys. We're up.
Yeah.
We
we're
leveled up. We leveled up.
powering up here, man.
Well, and again, since like it's mid-season, it's just awesome to see that, right? But it looks to me like, they're going to get Montgomery back.
Yep.
And they got a great offensive line too. We could talk quite a bit about that, but it'd be very interesting to see, how we perform. But it's just great to see us healthy. Actually, it was interesting though. Last week it was only Austin Eckler and Josh Kelly who suited up. Spiller and Dotson didn't even suit up at all. So Matlock didn't even suit up because we had so many defensive linemen. So it was just really interesting that, it's crazy. I just would have never thought that would happen, so it's exciting.
Yeah. One thing I do want to throw the asterisk to our injury report is obviously we don't have Corey Linsley. We don't have, Mike Williams.
Correct.
And then obviously, Josh Palmer. A lot of people kept talking about that. But like, you got to look at those guys too. They're out too. So you have to look at them. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I get it. But hey, can we just take a win and just accept it for the moment? Just to say that, hey, we got a healthy team. All right.
Yeah.
Like, I'll take that.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah,
either
then,
way, with the Lions, like they got obviously the big thing. David Montgomery's back. It really balances out the game. Really, to be honest, I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs is really a big home run hitter more than anything on that team. That's having the 1-2 punch is pretty big for them. Frank Ragnow, obviously he's one of the starters, a very good center in the league. Having him back is big for them too. Their O-line is kind of banged up in the sense of the depth side of things, and they've had a couple little injuries there too. But all around, it's a good looking game for us, and I feel like we have no excuses in my opinion of health by any means.
Yep. And Herbert was practicing with his finger cast again this week. You guys saw that short video I put on.
Yep.
So he's probably going to wear it again for the game. I would assume he'll probably wear it a little longer. I probably could take it off, but you probably want to just make sure it's okay if it's not brought. If it's not bothering him, why take it off right at this point?
Yeah.
Just keep on little, safety precautions.
Sure. Well, it's crazy. The reports they were talking about, they were saying that the bone was poking out of his finger too.
Yeah.
And that's pretty nuts to think about. Like, if he did that during the game and his bone is popping out of his dang freaking finger. Now, I can't confirm nor deny that that's true, but that's what a lot of people are talking about. I mean, what an Iron Man all around for this guy. And this picture is amazing. Right? Like, this looks dang card for sure. Like, it's an amazing looking shot.
Make that a Panini card right there, huh?
Yeah, no
special variant or whatever,
or Fanatics is what it will end up being. How about that?
Oh, right. Fanatics now, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And guys, again, throw your questions out as well, right? So we will, definitely throw your questions out. We'll get to them as well, obviously.
Yep.
So this is Herbert's offensive line right here. And it's interesting. I did see a side-by-side comparison of Herbert and our offensive line compared to what Mahomes has. And literally everybody in front of Mahomes is higher rated than everyone on the Chargers team.
Wow,
it was kind of crazy. Like, Clapp at 51%. I mean, that's pretty bad, right? You're even in the 50s. That's usually pretty bad in general.
Yep.
Zion Johnson's struggling. I think he's okay. He's been an okay guard, and Rashawn, Slater's been okay. Jamari Slater's been okay, but and Pipkins has been okay. The term is okay, guys. That's all it's been. And so it's been frustrating. And Eckler's still not himself. Quentin, as we know, is still struggling, and Guyton obviously didn't do great his first game back. So it's a very interesting conversation when you look at the line compared to some of the other, elite quarterbacks in the NFL. They have a lot more supporting cast around them, and it's going to be tough. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard, especially against this defense this week.
Yeah,
they're a very good
defense.
But you know what though, PFF they're very biased against the Chargers though. Like, that's what we kind of learned last year. So man, these guys are just like, they are not rating our players, giving them good justice there, So I'm only taking this with a grain of salt here,
Yeah, I mean, the PFF is relatively kind of biased in general. I feel like sometimes when I'm like, this guy didn't really have that good of a game, and then they rate him as that he had this great game, and I'm like, did I see the same game or something?
Yeah, right.
Like, it's a little strange, but
I got to go shoot Dutch this week.
It's giving kind of a metric. It's giving us a metric, at least for the team, and kind of how they're performing, more or less. So,
sure.
And URL Jordan, Pipkins needs to show out tomorrow for sure. Like, against that Jets game, man, I was like, yikes, he's getting eaten alive. And Aiden Hutchinson's not a dude you want to let him run in. And, I would assume that the Chargers would do is whatever side Aiden Hutchinson's on, either Slater or Pipkins, they probably have to put a tight end there to block, extra blocker of some sort. Chip him, whatever, at the running back side of things or whatnot. He is absolutely the focus on that defensive line for the Lions, for sure.
Yeah, you're probably going to put a tight end there and also put the running back on that side as well. He's their main. I think Chargers Weekly was saying something like 22% pressure rate, something like that.
Yeah, it's insane.
That's bananas. That's bananas, guys.
It's insane. I mean, that guy's an absolute beast, for sure. Remember, Aiden Hutchinson was the guy that Rashawn Slater blocked when he was at Northwestern, and they were making a big old thing about how he got drafted and how he held down Aiden Hutchinson in pre-draft, evaluations. And so that was like his big thing, that he really stood out being that blocker on Aiden Hutchinson and doing a great job of just shutting him down. So, I would assume if the Lions were smart, they probably wouldn't put him on Slater, in my opinion. So,
yeah, there's a video also on Twitter. I was actually going to throw it up. It was Jamari. I keep saying Rashawn Slater. Jamari Salyer against Aiden Hutchinson, and they got into it pretty hard in like a blocking drill, and they just started going to blows. It was kind of interesting. So I was going to post it, but I know how YouTube is with their violence kind of concept, and so it would have been flagged pretty immediately. So I was like, yeah, okay, I better not do that.
We're being flagged for dang near everything right now, though. So it's
it's crazy, right? Man. Yeah, we're definitely in the penalty box. What's up, guys? Good to see you guys again. Throw your questions out as well. Okay, we're just going to go through a few slides, review some stats, and then go into your questions. So toss your questions out also. So I know Aether's got a few comments and statements. We'll get to them as well. Yeah. So again, Herbert through week 9 became the fastest NFL player to reach 1,500 completions in 57 games. Before Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, and Matthew Stafford finished their 1,500 completions through 62 games. So,
wow,
Herbert's killing it, man. I mean, look, I think there's even going to be more. I mean, last week was pretty much just don't turn the ball over and we should win against the Jets, right? So, Herbert didn't have to do a whole lot to win that game, especially after we know they don't score points. But Herbert's a stud, man. We know it. The NFL knows it. Everyone knows it. We just got to get more dubs for this guy.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's all get more dubs and be smarter about how we utilize him. I think it's, what was that stat of, like, if we allow 28 points, Justin Herbert's record is like crazy high or something like that. It was like 28-6 or something.
This is it right here.
Like that.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
So this is a good breakdown of all the other quarterbacks in the league, right? So Chargers have 23-5 with Justin Herbert when allowing less than 27 points all time.
Yeah.
Wow.
And look at Trevor Lawrence. He's 16-10, 27 points.
Yeah.
Allen 53-18. So bottom line, your defense needs to stop them decently. They don't have to blow them out of the water, but that's going to be a big part of it, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's such a crazy stat to look at, in my opinion. Like, allowed 27 points, and hypothetically, if you think about all the teams in the NFL, there's only currently right now, if you look offensively, there are, right now 1, 2, 3, 4 teams in the NFL that score 27 or more points. So 27.3 for the Niners and everything higher from that point. Like, I mean, it's wild to think about that. And what's crazy about that stat is 2 of those teams, the Dallas Cowboys and Miami Dolphins, were 27.5 points and 31.7 points per game. So we lost to both of those, right?
Right.
So we have the tools, we have the ability to be able to do well and win more games. I think it's just recently this team is just on a different level defensively, and we'll chat about that a little bit later on.
Yeah. And I mean, there's just a lot to talk about. And again, Detroit's defense is going to be a problem for sure.
Absolutely.
But the Jets arguably were as good as, if not better than Detroit, and we were able to score a bunch of points too, right? So I think a big part of it's also not turning the ball over. That's a big part of the conversation, right? So making sure we control the ball is important.
Yep, absolutely.
What were we going to say, Kyle?
Oh no, I'm just agreeing. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm hearing a bunch of planes flying overhead right now for Veterans Day weekend, so I'm like, hopefully it's not coming up on the microphone, Yeah.
No,
so this is offensively where we stack up with the Lions, right? So I think it's really interesting. We're pretty similar, almost across the board. I mean, it's kind of crazy. I was like, wow, this is crazy. So, I think largely it's going to become our defense versus their defense, and look, I mean, it's going to be interesting. But again, we're scoring a little more points. I mean, we're 8th or 9th. Passing offense, they're 11th or 6th. But I will say this: you put pressure in what's his name, Goff's face, and he struggles.
Yes,
that's why he has to have a good offensive line, and his line is playing great, by the way, too.
Yep.
They're rushing much better than us for sure. So that's going to be a big test, right? Jameer Gibbs and Montgomery. Total offense, they're second. So, yes, they're scoring more. But again, look at this. This is splitting hairs, right? 341 yards and 309. I don't know. To me, like I don't know. It goes from week to week, right? So Third down conversions, we're 12th or 13th. Red zone scoring, we're second. They're 24th, which I think is really interesting. We score a lot more in the red zone. I mean, that's amazing. 70% of the time we're scoring in the red zone, which I think is great.
That's huge. That's awesome.
Yeah, but sacks allowed per game, 2.5. But look at this, 2.5 to 2, right? So that's kind of a weird stat in my opinion. It doesn't really matter that much. Turnovers, I mean, we're guys very similar on offensive stats, man, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting one all around. And I'm going to say one thing about the Lions O-line too. I mean, they basically have their most recent good team that they played against was the Ravens. And they allowed the Ravens, I believe, to be able to get 5 sacks in that game. And they got smoked 38-6. I felt like it was watching that the Lions were just demoralized in that game. And I think the thing is, though, with the way that this team is being put together right now defensively, we have the ability to be able to really get after Jared Goff in this game. We have the ability to stop them on the run because that's our strength right now. And my opinion, I think that we're going to have the ability to really find a way to really put that pressure on Goff, make sure that we could slow down the run. And really, it's once again, it's Thule, Mack, Fox, and Bosa create sacks, dude. That's basically what's going to happen in this game. Like those 4 guys, when they're on the line, it is fun to watch. So I think it's going to be really, really, that's where basically this game's going to be won at the line. 100%. Whoever's line works better is going to be how this game is won.
Well, and that's the third down package for sure, right? I think running downs, you got Nick Williams, and then you'll have Austin Johnson in there up the middle. Those guys are just space eaters, right? They do a good job of that. But then on third down, you want those speedy. And I'll tell you guys, in the NFL, if you can rush 4, I don't know if you guys watched my defense and offense video breakdowns. Let me know what you guys think of those as well.
Yep.
I want to edit those a little bit differently. Took a little while this week to get it out, but we'll get them out a little sooner this next game. But look, if you could if you just rush 4 guys and get to the guy in under 3 seconds, guys, it's a wrap. There's no way that you should lose. There's no way you should lose because you're going to get takeaways and you're going to get it's going to be great, right? You're going to have everything you want to have happen in your offense and your defense. It's just going to be perfect. So you'll be in fine shape.
Yep, no doubt. I can't wait for this one. Kind of a cool stat that I was reading about too is that I heard the ticket sales have been going bonkers for this game.
Yes, big time. Yep.
That's awesome to be able to hear. Like, I really feel like a lot of these Chargers fans are going to come out and show out very bigly in this game. And, I don't really imagine there's going to be a ton of Lions fans there, but I mean, maybe they're traveling a little bit more this year. I mean, I've been to other Lions games and they don't have a lot of fans there generally. So, I think this could be a very, very big game for the Chargers. I really do think that we're going to have a lot of fans in the stadium, and we got to be loud. We got to be behind our team. This is a big game for the Chargers. Yeah. Big game for the Chargers. This is a momentum carrying type game. And this is a great stat right here. This screenshot's awesome right here to look at all the sacks that we've been doing.
I mean, it's just awesome to see in general, right? Tackle for losses. But again, we're healthy, man. And guys, I think what really dude, Murray's looking great. Thule's looking great. Here's the thing. If we play as strong defense as we played these last 2 weeks, and again, you could argue, well, it's the Bears, it's the Jets. It's still an NFL team, guys, right? Like, come on. Say what you want to say. It's still an NFL team. They're the best of the best. And yes, they're not the best. They're not elite. But guys, we are balling out. And guys, one of the guys, Dean Marlowe, by the way, has been such a great addition.
Yep.
Say what you want to say about Brandon Staley and our coaching staff. We got Dean Marlowe, and now we got Nick Van Ness that's actually playing. Okay, they're actually they're on the 53-man roster with Bassie, another guy we picked up off waivers, right? And there's another one we picked up. Who's the other? Oh, Tanner Muse. He's on special teams. Yep. So those 4 guys we picked up off waivers the beginning of the season, right? And they're contributing very cheaply, right? And it just goes to show you they understand what this team needs, and they're picking pieces as it's going, as it's progressing. By the way, little side note, we did re-sign Christopher Hinton. I don't know if you guys know this, but Christopher Hinton was released He is now on the practice squad. So, little side note, he's a good defensive lineman. Oh, there we go.
Feel like it's getting real. Getting real, boy.
That's right. Yeah, man. Again, guys, throw your questions out. Keep throwing your questions out, and we'll get to them as well. We just got a few more slides, and we're going to go through that. But anyways, good to show this. And then, Aether, your boy.
Hello,
your boy. Gilman is balling out, dude.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's hanging loose, brother. He's hanging loose.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing I love about like that last game is our dudes were hitting dudes.
Yeah,
like,
big time. Big time.
It was like he got jacked up, like that old segment back on ESPN, dude. Like, dude, we're lighting fools up. Boom. Just lighting fools up, dude. It was awesome to see. And the one thing, and I don't know, I feel like some of those hits could have been flags, possibly, but just because of the way the luck of the Chargers at that point. But hey, there was dudes getting rocked. And Alohi has, man, I've been a fan of his, and this guy's really, really needs to be a guy that we re-sign. It goes back to like that Adrian Phillips when we let him go.
Yeah.
Like, oh, bad move, guys. You can't let Alohi go right now. Him and Derwin work really well in the backfield. I don't even know where JT Woods is at now. I have no idea where that guy is.
I was actually thinking the same thing. I thought about that this morning. Dude, did he get kidnapped? Is he like part of Al Qaeda or something? Like, what's going on here?
I mean, I haven't seen anything from him, and it's him and Dean Marlowe. Alohi and Dean Marlowe right now. I mean, AJ Finley's getting some field time. So I really don't even know where Woods is at right now. So, I mean, right now you cannot let Alohi Gilman go. I know we got a lot of issues with, salary cap. Got to find a way to get him on board and keep him on this team. Got to find a way. This guy's balling out.
So I think he's on the non-reserve, non-football illness list. And that was in September.
What does that even mean?
Yeah, so that means like, I don't know.
He's in detention.
You just gotta wonder.
It's kind of like,
you just gotta wonder. I don't know.
Him off the show,
He's in the penalty box,
Penalty box, dude.
Yeah. So maybe there's something that's happening. Yes, and you did. And by the way, okay, so let's talk about who we think should get an extension now. I was thinking about this as well. Gilman for sure. K9 for sure. Well, I'd love to get Eckler re-signed, but he wants crazy money.
Yeah.
Probably Kelly. You could probably re-sign Kelly pretty cheap.
Yeah.
I think there's one other person I was thinking about. Oh my gosh.
Gerald Everett.
Oh, Everett. Yes. Everett. Yes. Everett. That's the other one I was thinking about.
Yep.
I think those five, I would love to re-sign them somehow, but man, it's going to be really interesting to see how, but you're right, Aether. I didn't think he was going to be that good. So kudos to you. Good job. No, but again,
give him his flowers, dude.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. We need the flower emoji, some flowers dropping down or something. Yeah, but right here. So this is good too, right? So 19 sacks on third down. And again, that's the package you're talking about, right? It's Morgan or Megan Fox, Mac Bosa Tooley, right? AKA Megan Fox, +9 in the turnover differential right now, guys. We're holding on to the ball, dude. You win games if you hold on to the ball. Yep. Why did the Eagles lose to the Jets?
Yeah,
they turned over the ball. Hurts turned over the ball 3 times, 3 interceptions that game.
Yep.
So, I think Herbert knew that. Hey, I just don't need to do too much. Let's run the ball. Let's do what we got to do. Let's just let the rest of these plays work itself out and get through it. Weather the storm. You don't have to do everything all at once. And he took some sacks, man. He took a beating.
Yeah, he took a beating for sure. And I mean, the whole thing about it is in that game is let the whole team figure out ways to win. I mean, the defense found ways to be able to create turnovers. If we gave them turnovers in a short field, that game would have been much more different, in my opinion. But, I was glad to see that the Chargers ended up getting multiple turnovers, multiple sacks. They were vibing. Just the whole thing, like that was one of the most complete games and dominant performances I've seen in a while. Yes, it's the Jets. I get it. But they were still 4-3 at that time we were playing them, by the way.
And they won 3 games in a row.
Yeah, they won 3 games in a row. So, hey, that's a good team that we beat, regardless. Even when you had Nut Zach Wilson. You know what I'm saying?
Nut Zach?
Nut Zach Wilson.
The MILF hunter, dude. That's what he is. He's the MILF hunter, man.
Shoot.
The MILF. Did you say the MILF monster? Did you just call
the MILF hunter? The MILF hunter.
The MILF
hunter. Oh, wait. What happened
there? There it is.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, there it is.
So this is kind of a cool little statement from Thule. At any rate, there's a lot to be said here, but it just goes to show you what kind of teammate Thule is as a person. Yeah. Let's see. Thule basically says, who took my bag? And then the equipment team was like, oh, that was me. We took everything. We just took it. The bag was ready to be headed to the bus. You want me to take it back? He said, yes. Did you need something in it? Blah, blah, blah. No, I'd rather do everything myself. They do a lot of their own work. I'd rather just take my own bag and put my own jersey away, put my own pants away. They do a lot, so I do my part. It's like, man, it's just
yeah.
Here, so let me just say one of these. The bag was returned. Appreciate you. He said one of the things that I have thought about a lot on this defensive side of the ball is I think we tend to play. Correct me if I'm wrong, bros, and everyone in the chat. I feel like we haven't had that dog in our defense, right? I think everyone has talent, but there isn't that one guy that steps up and just makes everyone better, right? I think Derwin's supposed to be that guy, but this is showing kind of Steelers defense or the Ravens defense, hard-nosed. We're going to get dirty. We're going to get in the trenches. And I'm taking ownership of who I am and what I do on a daily basis. Yeah. I kind of feel like that's been lacking on this team. Is that weird? Am I weird? What do you guys think in the chat as well, too, guys?
Oh, you definitely weird.
Yeah, you definitely weird. That's for sure. That's for sure. Yeah, 100%.
Oh, yeah, I gotta get my gun ready.
Yeah,
shoot some
bam. Well, I would say one thing. Our defense. I mean, Matt Money Smith talked a little bit on Chargers Weekly, and he said, "Hey, look, something changed at that halftime of that Chiefs game.
Yeah,
something changed with that defense." Now, my speculation is there were a lot of the Chargers players were like, "Look, man, they probably jumped all over Brandon Staley. Like, stop playing this." Like,
yep.
And
I think they did.
We basically, you need to do this now, or like we could just kind of, retaliate against you and kind of torpedo your job, essentially.
It's exactly what happened to the Raiders,
Exactly what happened to the Raiders.
Exactly what happened to them.
Players revolted against the coach and called it a day, and that was it. Both GM and coach gone, kind of thing.
Yeah,
and
crazy.
I really think something shifted from that point because we only allowed like 100 yards to the Chiefs after that point. Changing up the defense, they only got 3 points, I think it was, or something like that. We did a really, really good job of shifting that defense, and it changed. And Derek Ainsley, shout out to him. I mean, him as a defensive coordinator, he got the whole celebration committee, getting people to enjoy football. I mean, you got to enjoy the game, not just basically play the game with pressure on top of you because you're getting paid the big bucks to perform.
Yeah.
But all around, I think just the team shifted their mentality, and I think that they got a little bit more swagger in their step. Go back to the mid-2000 seasons where it was the 2005, 2006 Chargers. Man, I remember being in the stadium and it was just people chanting like, "You can't run, you can't run." Like, we were just known as just a team that had swagger. We're dogs. Like, we knew what we needed to do. And these last two games, I think this defense is just really gelled and they've got the right vibe going on between the team. I mean, maybe even to throw out there, Telesco even apologizing, signing JC Jackson to the team helped out a little bit too. Like, I think there's a lot of little things that this defense has really found a very, very good vibe as a team right now. Yeah. And I'm excited for it. I think we're getting close to the dog. Maybe we're a little bit of a puppy, maybe a couple years in, but I think we're getting there. This is a big game though for this defense and offense. This is a massive game to really 100%. See if we can keep going. Because if you win this one, you could really go on a nice solid run from this point. Very, very good run from this point.
Yeah, we should definitely on paper beat Green Bay at Green Bay 100%. For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, is Jordan Love even going to be the quarterback there anymore? I mean, I heard rumors that Clifford might be the guy now, so I'm kind of curious to see how that plays out. But anyways, my point is this game is huge, right? Because bottom line, you have to sit back and say to yourself, okay, we've already beaten 2 teams that are above 500, right? So the Vikings now, and then obviously the Jets. So, but again, we beat another team that's over 500, arguably one of the better teams, the Lions. Then people are going to start saying, okay, Chargers are legit, right? It's pretty good. And Brian, this is a good question. We'll talk more about this. That'll actually be the one of the questions we'll get into for sure. I have a lot to say about Michael Davis for sure. Let's review the stats, and then we could go into final, your questions. Again, throw your questions out, guys. This is the final slide. So let's talk about the defense. Points allowed, we're 21st. I mean, we're right there with them.
Yeah.
It just goes to show you some of the stats, in my opinion, are a little bit like when you heard 21st, you're like, oh, okay, that's bad. But again, we also gave up a ton of points the first few games, right? So,
right.
And by the way, and to your point, and even Brian, just so you know, we're playing more press man. We are getting more physical. That's the thing. Mm-hmm. And even the film breakdown that you guys saw, again, if you watch my video, we are playing the safeties further back, but the reason why they're doing that is so they could come up and hit at the point of attack if the ball is going to a wide receiver on the boundary or somewhere else, right? So they can be more physical. Like you saw that first hit that Gilman did to Lazard right across the middle. I mean, he blew him up. I was like so thankful that wasn't a personal foul because they could have been considered launching, but it was shoulder to shoulder contact. So that was good. But anyways, my point is we're getting more physical, which is good.
Yep.
But passing defense needs to improve, and it's improving. We were, by the way, just so you know, we were like 340 at one point or something like that for the passing defense. I mean, but what was it, 500 the first game of the season. So rushing defense, we're doing great. They're doing great, which is going to be, so running's going to be hard. Total defense, 30th or 5th. Okay. Big difference there. But again, it's only 75 yards difference, right? Third down conversions, we're 6th or 2nd. I mean, pretty similar red zone. We're a much better red zone defense. That's one thing I will say. We do have very good red zone defense. They're not that great in the red zone. Sacks, we're 2nd. I think the Eagles are the only team that have more sacks than us. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so. They're very, very close to that same point. And they got one game ahead of us too, so they haven't had their bye week. So we have less games. We played less games so far.
That's true. Okay, that's a good point.
Yep.
And then takeaways, we're 3rd, they're 9th. So pretty good stuff. All right, so let's get into your questions. I'll start with this one, and then we'll go to the beginning, and then we'll go from there. Michael Davis, I think Michael Davis is very underrated, right? I think a lot of people pick on him and say he's bad and slow and whatever. You go back to that Jags game. I know we don't want to talk about it, but that defense completely changed once Michael Davis was out. He tore his pec, and it was a wrap. They completely picked on everybody that was in that area, and everything just shifted. It was just terrible. So he's a big part of this team. Oh, he's the other guy we need to sign. This is his last year, I believe, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So big guy, big physical dude. He's much better tackler than like Asante for sure. So, it's pretty solid. Oh yeah, here we go. Hold my beer, bro. I'm telling you, that was a freaking hit. And Derwin James still hits solid too, but I like that Derwin James didn't lead with his helmet, which is good. So he didn't get that personal foul call against Breece Hall, which I thought was great.
One thing I saw that the Chargers had practiced this week, it looks like they were practicing on the proper technique of try to tackle with your shoulder versus tackle lead with your head. And I understand in the game moment, the split second of trying to not be able to hit the person incorrectly. But, I'm glad to see they're doing that, because I think, man, are they really ever practicing tackling correctly at all? Because they screw up so much. So it's good to be able to see that in that footage for the week.
Yeah. So this is a good question for you, James. I know you and Aether chat a little bit.
So he's saying, this is a monster game for my coach. Big game. He needs to prove it this year. 0-3 against good teams, like James mentioned. Yep. He needs to show us as fans, no more effing around. Coach, let's go. Yeah, man. I mean, that's the whole thing. Technically, we could say the Jets was a good team. I mean, they were a winning team when we beat them. So you could kind of add that as a one win, but we have got to find ways to beat good teams. And
Yes.
You're not going to go far in the playoffs if you get to the playoffs, if you can't beat a good team, because those are the best of the best at that time. And you've got to find a way to do it. Like, how cool would it be if we end up beating the Lions and then we beat the Packers? We would essentially have have we played all the games? Yeah, we play all the teams in NFC North at that point, and we would sweep them at that point. I mean, doesn't really help in the sense of tiebreakers or anything like that, but yeah, we got to win against a good team. And once again, there's a lot of momentum right now, guys, with this team. And this is a big, big game for that. I did just look at the last 2 games. I mean, we gave up 295 yards to the Bears and 270 to the Jets. That puts us at a top 5 base defense on total yards given up. So we're in the right momentum. I think we're in the right mindset right now. This team is getting to the right level, and this is going to be a dogfight. Like, I literally think this game's a dogfight. Like, it's going to be a tough one, very tough one. So I really hope the fans at SoFi are going to be just loud, and it's going to be a great one.
It's so cold in the D. Remember that song?
It's so cold, dude. Remember we went to the San Diego Charger game?
Yep.
And I remember Marissa, my wife, was like saying that to some Detroit Lions fans next to him, and they were like, "Oh man, you know that song? Oh man." It was so funny. But yeah, we ended up winning that one, I think, on a Danny Woodhead touchdown, I want to say.
Yeah.
It was something like that. Yeah.
So yeah, that was awesome.
Okay, guys, and put your score predictions down also in the chat. We'll get to those also, guys, because I really want to see what everyone thinks the score is going to be. And be realistic, folks. I mean, it's going to be tough. I think we win by 3 points. That makes a lot of sense to me. It's gonna be a close game.
Very close.
The last 2 games I predicted we won by 10. I think this one's going to be pretty close. I think the Lions are favored by 1 point, or was it 1.5, something like that?
Something like that. Yeah. Look, man, keep betting against the Chargers, man. Keep betting against them because it's working right now. It's just like that Monday Night Football game. It was like everybody on ESPN was like, "Yep, they're going to lose to the Jets." And guess what? We destroyed them. Like, hey, keep betting against us. Let everybody bet against us. I mean, I think it's going to be a very, very good game, close game all around. And to be honest, our bread and butter is our pass rush. If we could get in there and just cause chaos, it's going to be a bit different game.
It'd be good. And Kelly, I think he's averaging these past couple of games like 6 yards a carry, right?
Yeah.
The thing is, he's a very north and south runner. Like, he's more of a gap runner, right? I did like what Matt Money Smith said a couple days ago on Chargers Weekly about, putting Eckler and Kelly in the backfield. Why not do it, right? We're already down wide receivers. Why not have the 2 running backs back there, right? You got Eckler, use him, because then you got to split the linebackers. Then if they go to the side, Herbert can run up the middle if there's an open gap in the middle, that should give a lot of space straight for Herbert to just run for 5-10 yards, and I don't know why they don't run 2 running back sets. And I just don't understand why we don't do that. It's a little weird to me, but okay. I'm also not the offensive coordinator.
Yeah. I think they really should try to find a way to do Darius Davis and get him like a double reverse situation.
Yeah.
And get him with the ball in his hands on the run. Like, find a way to be able to get him to utilize his speed in some way or another, because that guy is an absolute weapon for us right now.
Right.
That's something I think that to really, really spark a little bit more speed on the offense, I think that'd be a great idea.
Yeah, and again, the Detroit D is going to be a problem, right? We got to stop Aiden Hutchinson. That guy is a freaking savage. That guy's probably eats raw meat for breakfast or something like that. And you're like, oh my god,
probably.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, Kyle?
Oh no, it was just it. The Lions defense is wild. I mean, their offense is really good too, though. So that's the crazy thing. But I mean, we did talk about this a little bit earlier, but like, when you really look at it, like, the only really good team that they beat this year was the Chiefs so far.
By 1.
By 1. So so like, I mean, I'm just kind of like, I don't know. Like, I mean, I am a little bit on the fence about this game. People were actually accusing me of picking the Lions for this game already. I'm like, no, man, because I guess I did the Wednesday Night Football thing, and I think I maybe slipped it out, or slipped the slip of the tongue, like when I was talking or whatever. But I mean, I could see, like, to James's point, it's going to be a brutal game, and it's going to be very close.
Well, And the one thing about it is, and to your point, like they haven't beat a lot of good teams yet. And yes, you could say the Chiefs. Week 1 is a complete crapshoot for any NFL
Never
team.
know.
I mean,
Yep.
complete crapshoot. And Lions came through with that 1-point victory. 1-point victory, still a victory, right? But it's really about this game, in my opinion, for the Chargers is knowing what is this team. This is the identity type game for this team. Can we beat that team that the NFL has really put on a pedestal to give them the Thursday night game to open up the season now? They started 6-2 at this point. This is a very, very big game for the Chargers to get that momentum builder continuously going. There's a lot of people that I'm going to say, I kind of almost want to keep the receipts and check those receipts now, because there's not a lot of people talking about firing Brandon Staley now after winning 2 or 4-4. You best believe this is a big game for Brandon Staley too. He needs to be able to find a way to beat these good teams, just like what Aether was saying. So I don't know. I could go on that for a while, but this is a massive game just for momentum purposes and identity purposes of this team.
Yep. Yeah. Internal pass rush is going to be big. Locker room's hype, dude. Like they seem very happy, and I think they're playing for each other. By the way, apparently they are still doing meals. Kenneth Murray, or not Murray, K-Mac is still doing team meals. Yep. So,
awesome.
Yep.
No Brandon Fajoko getting those big meals, dude. I mean, it's still Button gets in the line, but yeah, he always talked about taking stuff home and all that stuff.
Bro, chill it, dude. Yeah. And thank you, Original. Yeah, I'll keep those going, but we'll get those video breakdowns as soon as the all 22 footage is available. I'll get it out now that I have a process where I can do it. We'll get it out a little sooner and easier, a little more timely, right? So it's a little bit late. Okay, this is a good question here. My only question is, what does Coach Staley and his defense need to do to slow down the Lions' offense, especially early in the game? I think be aggressive, man. I think you got to be aggressive. Do some press man. Get in their face and punch them in the mouth. Hit them in the dicker, dude. Kick them in the dicker. You know what I mean? I mean, really, like, and I'm kind of not joking. It was interesting. I was again watching the footage of the Jets game. We blitzed quite a bit the very first couple drives. We blitzed a lot. We do 5, maybe 6-man blitzes, and we did a lot of press man, and it worked great. So I think we should do the same thing. I think the same exact game plan we did, we should do against them, right? So I'd like to see maybe Derwin James on Laporta, just get in his face, get physical with that rookie, and then put Mikey Davis straight on Amon St. Brown, and then really just make sure that line is solid and keep Kenneth Murray all over that running back. Whoever's that running back is you are on that guy, because we know Goff's not going to go anywhere. Goff's not moving. So anyways, that would be my game plan.
Well, and that's the one thing I watched a little bit of the Ravens game too, when they just destroyed them. I mean, they played a lot of press. They just found a way to get at Goff. Goff is not going to be a guy that kills you with his legs. He's kind of a very Ryan Tannehill kind of guy.
Yep.
Ryan Tannehill found a couple times to be able to do that for us, but we were playing a lot of off coverage that were just silly, in my opinion. I feel more recently we've been playing a lot more closer man-to-man kind of situation. So, we just got to get after them. Pressure as much as we possibly can. Bump them at the line, play tight coverage. Personally, I kind of feel like Derwin James should play a little bit more traditional safety again, because I think he did that a lot more against the Jets. And I think he had one of his best games of the season because of that.
Oh, by far his best game of the season. Statistics-wise? Oh, yeah, 100%. Because, and it's funny, Brandon Staley keeps saying, well, when Aloe's back there, he can play more free. And I'm like, I like Derwin up on the line, but, I don't know. It's going to be tough. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. I
feel like sometimes the way that they were playing Derwin just very open and free and let him kind of roam the field, I feel like it confuses a lot more people on the defense, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like handing off when somebody needs to cover that guy, if Derwin's going to the guy in front of him, or like a slant guy, or like a, middle of the field guy or whatnot, and just the handing off to the next player. I feel like there's a confusion side of it or something. Like maybe I'm wrong on that, but I just feel like there's something that's not translating well or communicating well from player to player on what they need to do in situations.
Yeah, it's all about
like keeping Derwin traditional is not a bad idea.
Yeah. Yep. Again, original, yes. Limit the throwing lanes. And, obviously, pass rushing is going to be huge, man. If we can put if you put any type of pressure on him, he's going to be,
flustered.
The one thing I will say too, watching that video again, watching all the footage, Zach Wilson's got really bad footwork. I mean, really bad footwork.
Really bad.
I mean, it was kind of funny because he wasn't like, it was just, he was off on a lot of his throws, and it was large because of the footwork. But then you watch someone like Herbert, dude, his footwork is spectacular, right?
Yeah.
And you're just like I was beyond impressed with just how well he maneuvers in the pocket and is able to even throw with pressure in his face, which is huge. So
even to say with the whole pressure game too, I mean, against the Jets, we basically got home to pressures wise and sacks, and how we got the sacks is after 2.5 seconds of holding the ball. In my opinion, no quarterback should be holding the ball at 2.5 seconds. If I was an offensive coordinator, you get that ball out in 2 seconds, because you don't got a lot of time as a quarterback, and you should not be holding the ball. Now, that could be a shot out to our cornerbacks, linebackers, everybody doing their job and making sure it's tough on him to be able to throw the ball. But if we have the ability to get it home and have 2.5 seconds for our line to get there, it's going to be a rough game for Goff. Very rough game for Goff.
Kyle, you want to take this eighth question?
Here it is.
Bold prediction.
My bold prediction is, I know my baby QB is not done a lot yet, but he will get 2 rings. CJ Stroud will be the next Justin Herbert. Let's go. Yeah, man. Like I have a really good feeling about Justin Herbert for sure too. Like I feel like he's definitely going to be the guy to lead us there. I hope, fingers crossed on that one, So, and I can definitely see that the meta, or the macro news stories or whatever like that, it's gonna work. It's gonna work if you buy into those conspiracy theory type things. California, they're trying to get all these electric cars coming out though. There's gonna be a lot of talks about getting new chargers and stuff like that. So it's like, see,
it's true. It makes sense.
It's all coming down.
It's all coming together. And CJ Stroud's a dog, man. He had a phenomenal game last week. 470 yards, 5 touchdowns. He got me the dub on my fantasy team for sure. Him alone, dang near just freaking hooked me up, dude. That dude's a dog though. But big thing for the Texans to have a quarterback like that. That guy's a stud, absolute stud.
So Kyle, you dog us again? Say you trying to say?
No, man. Like I said, that was Wednesday Night Football. I'm pretty sure I had a slip of the tongue when I was predicting the game.
Oh no!
And I said,
"Man, Kyle, what's up, dude?"
Yeah. So I messed up a little bit, but no, man. I backed it up and I said, "Nah, man, the Chargers gonna win." Yeah.
Good. How did that Madden simulation end up, anyways? I think it was. I think the Chargers ended up winning, right?
Yes, the Chargers.
They got tight in Chargers fashion, I think, late too, right?
Yes, it was. Really tight. Of course, they got the ball, and they drove it downfield, and they made it within 1 score game, a 3-point game, and they almost did an onside kick, and it was definitely a little heart attack game for sure.
Ooh, yeah.
Nice.
Well, I kind of expect, and I'll say that about heart attack games. It's been nice to have 2 weeks off, not having heart attack games. So
yes,
for us Charger fans, our hearts are okay right now. But I do expect this next game to be kind of one of those games where your heart's going to be just racing like crazy.
Yeah.
It's a good question by Brandon Mitchell. Do you think we've improved under Moore versus Lombardi? I think we definitely in the red zone for sure.
Mm-hmm, big time.
I think that the offense is more it's kind of interesting. It's kind of hard to describe, but I think there's a lot of nice things happening with the offense.
Yeah.
Across the board, right? I feel like the route progressions and the schemes, the spacing is nice. It's very difficult to, defend it, right? Having said that, I still don't feel like we're really putting up the numbers we want to throw up, but I definitely think we're going the right direction. I'm just hoping we can get our running game going, because that's the other part of the question for me. I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts on Brandon's question?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Like the whole running game is the balancer to the offense, and you can't be an uneven based team. If you're going to be throwing the ball 60 times, you're basically giving up. I mean, that's a lot of opportunities to be able to do bad or make mistakes, basically, at that point. Like the statistics are probably very, very high of turnover rate when you're at 50 plus throws in a game. It's not good generally. So, yeah, I mean, with Lombardi, like I felt like it was just vanilla, nothing too fancy, no really movement, no trying to, I guess really just put the players in the best position to win. And what I mean by win, catch the ball and do something with it. Like it was just almost like very singular, like base player. You catch the ball, you figure out how to get a touchdown kind of thing. And I feel like
it was trying to get one-on-ones, right?
Yeah,
okay. Keenan Allen's going to beat a one-on-one. Okay. Yeah. But I don't know. That's just not, I don't know. It was all about dinking and dunking, moving the ball downfield, no yards after catch or anything. Yeah. Right. Very, very, very archaic offensive scheme.
Very much, very much. And I mean, I think that Kellen Moore has done a good job of just trying to make things a little bit more deceptive, or like trying to find little unique ways to be able to get players in the right position to win the play, basically. So it's fun to watch. It's fun to watch. And I think so far Moore has done a good job. I do think that we do need to get in a better rhythm and score some more points offensively recently. I think we need to figure that out. So, but you can't win every game and you can't score 35 every game and on offense solely.
Yeah. What do you guys think about Staley and the hot seats? Original Wiz's question. I think he's fine at the moment. I think everyone seems happy. And they're moving forward. So I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts?
I feel like, I mean, that's how it is always. Like, like if someone's winning, everyone's happy, but as soon as he loses again, everyone's going to come back to the whole fire Staley conversation,
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. 100%. So it's just like,
right back to that switch real quick.
It's just, but and that's just the truth though, too, is like, I mean, we've talked about this before, but like the Chargers fan base is kind of we're damaged in a lot of ways, because we're in
an abusive relationship, dude.
We got
a lot of emotional damage.
Emotional damage.
That's right. Yeah. But I feel like I think he's gonna stay with the team for one more year. Like that's what kind of Spanos likes to do. He likes to give like coaches 4 years or so on average, to turn something around. So I think that's all right. But on this note, quick little thing is that apparently Harbaugh is suspended in the college coaching world, so that could be leading him into going back into the pros potentially. I don't know. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, at some point you get kind of over the politics of what's happening in college football. This is essentially his second suspension this year. Yeah. So I mean, I think the thing is, though, you have to look at it as like, I personally think Brandon Staley's done a pretty good job. There's obviously frustrations of certain things that have happened with Brandon Staley, but I'm looking for a consistency of a coach to give us the opportunity to get to the playoffs, to be able to get to a Super Bowl. And if you really kind of break it down, we've had those opportunities for his first 2 seasons. If you look at that Raiders game in 2021, essentially that was a playoff game. We ended up losing one of the best games I've seen in a very long time. Obviously, the Jags game, you got to get past that. I mean, you got to get past that. We should have won that one. But I want to see a consistency of a winning-based head coach to be able to get us to the Super Bowl on some level, or at least just get a punch in a ticket to get to the potential Super Bowl for us, which is the playoffs. So I think sometimes it's not always better to go to the next best name out there, or go to the most shiny rock or whatever it might be, I don't know, out there like Jim Harbaugh. Maybe it will be a disaster, I don't know, but we'll see what happens. I think it depends on what coaches are available. I mean, people talk about Belichick possibly getting let go from the Patriots and coming to the Chargers. Who knows?
Speaking of Belichick, do you see that Ring camera catching him doing the walk of shame out of some person's house? Did you see that?
Really? No.
Yeah, buddy. Oh my gosh, it was all on chat. Did you see that? It was hilarious. Yeah, he had his shirt off and He's walking out of some house all like, what the hell? Where am I at? Oh, it's hilarious. It's all over Twitter and everything. Yeah.
Oh man,
that's hilarious.
Yeah. We're like, what the hell
F.
is Belichick up to, man? Like, what's going on,
F
buddy?
in the chat for that
That's hilarious.
We're playing some tap.
one.
Tap, baby.
Tap. But yes, we got Thule, Mac, and Bosa, absolute nightmare. And the Bro Migos. What's up? The three Bro Migos. That's Thule, Bosa, and Mac. What's up? Yes. So and yeah, I'm kind of surprised we're not doing more streaks with Davis. I would have assumed we would do some more deep bombs. I think we should see some more from Guyton in this game as well too. Him coming back. Again, he's getting his feet on. I still don't even think Eckler's looking 100% at this point. I think he looks okay, but he dropped 3 balls last week, so
a little off.
I don't know. Okay, here we go. Original, it's combined wins, loss of teams to beat. Though they aren't they sub 500? Yeah, with the Lions, I believe so. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
This makes sense. I like this 17-20. Yeah,
this could be a very defensive game for sure. Could be.
I mean, I think again, one thing people aren't talking about is that they're coming off a bye, right? Like,
right.
I tend to struggle with because you're not out there playing speed, and so you get it takes a little while to get up into it, right? And so the nice thing is we got some good momentum. So I think that could be a good advantage to us.
You come a little struggle out of the gate real quick. I mean, the thing about it is, if you know about the Chargers, the first half is when we basically do our damage, and then second half we're trying to figure it out again. and
exactly,
we tend to be sluggish. So if they come out slow out of the gate, and let's just say they start having to throw the ball on us, I mean, I think there is something that kind of buys in a little bit to our strengths at this point. Well, I wouldn't say pass defense is our strength, but I do think that it really is going to make them feel a little bit more on that panic button. I got to find a way to make this happen, somewhere or another.
The panic button.
Panic button.
Yeah, the panic button. Yep. Panic button. I think the media narratives are mostly garbage. I agree. And again, right through the media, right? Ocho, all those guys, they're just making statements. They're just trying to get clicks and whatever. And it is what it is, man. And
it's like after the Jets game, dude. Like, I was watching the media and they were like, all right, Chargers beat the Jets. All right, let's talk about the Jets. Like, and they didn't even care to say like Chargers dominated them. Herbert didn't have his best day, which somebody on NFL Network was saying that he's like trash basically because he's not elite or whatnot. I mean, if you look at all the elite quarterbacks that the Jets have played against, I mean, they've made them look bad. Them look bad. And so come on now. Like you got to give respect to the Chargers and what they did against the Jets. And I hated that about the whole media thing. It's so annoying to hear that.
It really is. It really is. Here we go. Oh, this is Aether's bulk. Wow. 365 yards, 4 touchies.
4 touchies. Woo.
Keenan, nice. 131 yards, 2 touchies. Man, 41-31. Boy, that's offensive.
Crazy prediction about that. Chargers haven't lost a game that scored over 40 points. I think it's been like 23 years, I think, since that point, or at least the history that I've been able to see. So if they score over 40, they have not lost a game in like 20-something years. It's crazy to see that. I mean, you don't want to go in those type of games where it's going to be like that Browns game where it was just
like, back and forth.
That game was just like, yo, what happened here, man? What happened here? So, that would be wild to see that. But, man, Dayon, dude.
Dude, Dayon's got speed, man. I think he's the prototypical linebacker, man, now because you want a fast guy in coverage. He's good, dude. I tell you right now, man, like let me put it this way. If we don't re-sign Kenneth Murray, it's because of Dayon, right? And so they're like, okay, we'll just go with Dayon. He's cheaper. We don't have to pay Kenneth Murray, But man, Kenneth Murray's playing lights out right now. So I don't know. It's gonna be tough. But yeah, Dayon, man, that guy is good, dude. He's got speed. You watch him on film. My God, he does things that nobody else can do.
Yep.
Michael Davis. Again, we need Derwin's help for sure. And I do think we'll re-sign Kenneth Murray for sure. Again, you could re-sign him pretty cheap, maybe pay him $5 million a year guaranteed, something like that, for 2 years, just kind of like what we gave Kendricks. We'll see. And Tito looked pretty good last game. Good. He looked pretty good. He looked good. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah. And more butt and gut, dude. That's always appreciated, dude.
Yeah. And again, this is interesting. Yeah. Derwin needs to work on his communication. I kind of agree. But again, I think Kenneth Murray was the one with the green dot, if I remember correctly, last week. Yeah. So, which I thought was weird. I thought Kendricks was going to wear the green dot, but Kenneth Murray wore it last week, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Yep. Tito, big improvement. I'm telling you, man, everyone looks good on the defense. Our defensive line looks pretty awesome. I mean, I'm really impressed.
They just look energized. That's the whole thing about it. They look energized. They look like a different team. It's really weird to watch, but it's fun to watch. Like swag. This defense needs swag. Like this offense needs to find some sort of identity too, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, can we get some swag on there, dude? Like,
get some swag.
Some swag, my man. Let's go. Let's go.
People still say swag, dude. People still say that. That's an old word, dude.
What's up? I don't know, man. What do you call it? What would you want to call it? Vibes. Vibes are high, bro. I don't know.
Vibes. We got high vibes.
Yeah. Vibing, bro.
Yeah, Kelly, again, I think Kelly's going to be, again, it was interesting. I think Brandon Steele was asked the question, why aren't we using Kelly more? They said he's part of the rotation. I do think, again, I would like to see more 2 running back sets. I said that even in the preseason. I like the idea of 2 running back sets. Yep. So, Tito's looking good, man. I mean, again, our defensive line is looking really, really, really good. So, very excited about that.
Yep.
You think the Lions will use pressure, double Allen, take away the run, and Darrell Herbert to beat them with other receivers? Yeah, that's probably what their game plan would be, something like that, right?
Yep.
Bracket Allen. I mean, Allen's pretty much the team. But, that means we got to step up with Everett. We got to step up with Eckler. We got to step up with other people, right? Parham's got to have a big game. Guyton, so.
One thing, a stat that I saw, and I'm looking at it on a fantasy football perspective, but the Lions are 27th versus tight ends. So they're 27th worst in the league versus tight ends. So this could be a very, very big game for Gerald Everett and Parham specifically. Like this could be a massive game for them. So for whatever reason, they're not very good about blocking, or basically, their defense is bad against tight ends. So that's something to really keep an eye out for this game.
Yeah, and Marcus, we talked about this earlier at the very beginning. We went through the PFF scores for offensive line. Yeah, it's they're not playing great. Like the PFF scores are pretty low at the moment. We're getting no push, right? A big part of the run game is getting more of a push, and that just hasn't quite happened with this unit, which is we're not playing nasty. You know what I mean?
Nasty boys.
Nasty boys. but they're just not getting a push. They're not driving. It's just it's been frustrating, right? So so this is good. Bump coverage. Let our D line get home before they can get open. We should shut them down. I agree with that, man. I really do. I do.
Yeah, I agree. The thing about it is Amon-Ra St. Brown is like one of my favorite receivers in the NFL, and that guy will hurt you. Like he's a very, very good receiver. You got to put 2 on him, in my opinion. And Reynolds is actually a very good receiver on top of that too. You got to find a way to play them at the line and get them off of their routes. You got to do that. You got to blanket them as much as you possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, the big adjustment was Corey Linsley going out, right? That's the frustrating part is that he clearly Will Clapp is a downgrade at this moment, right? Mm-hmm. So, and that's frustrating, right? I think Will Clapp, I mean, he's okay. The term is what? Serviceable, right? Serviceable. But that's about it, so, it's the line has to work as a unit, right? They're still struggling, and, it's going to be tough.
I think that's a funny comment with original whiz here with the emotional damage. I've been a fan since I was in college in '94. I should have a pick on the emotional damage Wikipedia, dude.
Yeah,
man, we're the same boat as you guys. Like since
Yeah.
we've known football. I mean, Kyle and I are born in San Diego, driving by Qualcomm all the time. Like, you know, it's just, man, we got a lot of emotional damage too, my man. And we've been fans for a real long time since we've known football, all the way to our grandpa was a season ticket holder since the Chargers were in San Diego, man. So it's like,
yeah,
we've got a lot of that. A lot of that.
Do you think we sweep the Raiders? Yeah. I mean, look, I think they got the one win after McDickhead's gone, but look, I think the Jets beat the Raiders this week. They're a much better team. But, you know, we'll see. I mean, you know, they got Rodney Farva, who lost, 40, 50 pounds. He's their quarterback now. So, yeah, I don't know.
I like how you call him Rodney Farva all the time, dude.
Yeah, Rodney Farva. That's what he looks like. He looks like Rodney Farva, leader of Cola. Yeah. I don't know. This is just funny. I just thought it was hilarious. Can't walk outside without a shirt these days, I guess. I don't know why. I'm not sure. I'm trying to figure out like where that comes from, but I thought it was pretty hilarious.
That was the Bill Belichick thing.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. There we go. Yeah. Okay, there we go. There. Thank you, Kyle. Because I was like, man, it's kind of a funny statement. That, bro, it was so funny. Like, oh my, you have to see it. I thought I sent it to you guys. I must have forgot. It's hilarious because he comes out and he's all like disheveled. He's got his shirt off. He's like, where the hell am I? And I'm like, what the hell did this guy get into? I'm like, man, bro, like that's hilarious.
I think it's just
wasn't
funny.
Robert Kraft caught up like in some rub and tug spots?
Spots. Yeah, for sure, dude.
That's where he went after that last Super Bowl win that they got. You know, he went and got himself a tug job.
Come on, just touch it. Just touch it. Oh boy. What's odd is that everybody loves Kyle Shanahan, whose winning percentage is barely better than. I agree, 100%. Yeah. Look, guys. One thing I'll say is it's very hard to win in the NFL. Brandon says it all the time, and I'm like, it's a very true statement, though. I think what I've seen so far, though, with Brandon Staley, whatever's happened with what happened at the midway through the Chiefs game, clearly they sat back and said, "Hey, man, we need to play differently." So maybe Brandon Staley's finally listening to his players, because I think Brandon Staley seems to get a little too in his head about, no, we got to play this pattern match zone or whatever he likes to call it. And he gets a little bit stubborn in the way he wants it to be run. So I think they're definitely playing the way they want to play now, which is good. And kudos to him if that's what happened. He listened to his players and now they're playing better. So great. That's what a good coach should do. They should be part of that.
Agreed.
Actually,
it's basically the players are like, well, screw you, dude. We're going to do what we want to do. And if you don't want to do that, like, we could get you fired kind of thing. And he's like, well, okay, all right. This is legitimately, I don't want to be Josh McDaniels here and get kicked out by my dang team here. So,
yeah, right.
Yeah.
So I was going to mention real quick about the guy's icon right there, 2-cent peanut gallery, whatever. So he's got some like a funny icon there for like with some with a beanie and all that stuff. But so we actually was just gonna mention that we actually have beanies in our store now. So like if you wanted to get some beanies for the winter months, go ahead and get some. Just drop that in the chat there real quick. Yeah,
there it is.
Yeah, it's a collaboration with the Bolt City Diehards, one of the clubs out here. So like we got that going. Like you'll see some posts about it from them and stuff too. But yeah, it's floating around.
Still got to do that. Make the Chargers great again, dude. We got to get that done.
I had to do this one real quick because they've been asking me about it for a while. So like, let me get that. Okay. I'll do the Chargers one too.
Good.
Yeah, I was gonna throw this one out here because well, never mind. We'll do that one after.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So teams went off their bye about 52% of the time since. Yep, I agree. Look, you're not playing, right? You're not in game mode. You're kind of just a little off. You're not seeing things the same way. Speed's a little faster.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, I do think it makes a difference.
Big time. So this one right here, I thought it was interesting. So Miguel Guzman, I'm one of the newer subscribers, man. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. But he's like, but I'm curious to know how you guys met and became both bros.
Well, funny you should ask.
Well, I mean, we are, hence the name Bolt Bros. We are actual brothers. We are all
That's
three
right.
brothers here. So, Andrew's the older one. I am the
and better looking one.
No, get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
He's got a lot of emotional damage for sure. Outside of
Emotional damage.
Yeah.
And then, I'm second to last, and Kyle's the caboose of the
That's
family.
right.
The caboose.
Yep.
And we have
I'm,
two
uh,
other
pulling up
sisters
the rear.
too. So.
I'm the anchor. I'm the anchor.
Yep.
Mhm.
Anchor.
But I mean,
weight,
bottom
more
line,
right.
we became the Bolt Bros because we talk about the Chargers every single season through text messages, and we're
Yeah.
just chatting about them. So we're like, what? Let's just make a platform out of it. Why not? You know,
Right.
So
Right. Let's get more people involved in this chat, you know? Yeah.
dude,
So
exactly. And dude, I love being able to connect to the whole community all around. Like, it's been awesome. This is only our second season of doing this podcast, and it's been fun to be able to go to SoFi and then just people recognizing us and saying what up to us, and just look, man, it's fun to just be a part of the community, man. So, you know, I appreciate you, Miguel, for subscribing to everything too. And, you know, we love to be able to, hear from you more often.
Yeah.
Yeah, Larry, it's amazing how Raider fans are so man, what's the word? They don't use their best judgment, right? I mean, I don't know what it is. Like they get one win, and all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, we're going to the Super Bowl,
gosh.
and and they just keep chirping. They just keep chirping. And like, I truly believe the Jets defense will shut them down. Rodney Favre is going to get dry humped all day. I'll tell you right now, dude, like, their offensive line is bad. You think our offensive line is bad? Their offensive line is way bad. Yeah. So he's going to get destroyed. That rook is going to be in real trouble. So, we'll see what happens. But the Raider fans are ridiculous, dude.
They were so hyped about Aiden O'Connell. They were like, oh, this guy's going to be great. He's the next Brett Favre, Brett Favre, Tom Brady. Everybody loves to say Tom Brady for some reason. Like, dude, Tom Brady was an anomaly, and that's like a guy that's going to be once every possibly 20 years kind of guy. Like, that guy's an absolute beast. And Aiden O'Connell's very much a guy who likes to be a statue behind the line, and that's a line you cannot do that by any means. Yeah. And that's why Khalil Mack got 6 sacks against him, because the dude sat in the behind the line and did nothing. Like, you can't do that. I would say last game, I did watch a good portion of that game, and it was trolling the Raiders fans while I was watching it under Bolt Bros. They played a little bit more fast pace kind of throwing game, and they have to do that with him. If they don't do that, he's going to get destroyed. Jets are no joke as a defense. He's not going to get a lot of time, in my opinion. So this will be coming back down to, the ground, I guess, because they feel like they're at this high moment. I mean, they played against the Giants, dude, and they're bad.
Dude, the Giants are terrible, dude.
Bad.
Dude, everyone keeps talking about Brian Daboll and whatever. And, again, Danny Dimes is gone. Of course, he's not a very good quarterback to begin with. But
no,
that team is falling apart. Like, it is. Are they just trying to get that guy from USC? By the way, that guy doesn't look that good to me, in my opinion, man. I watched a lot of that game. I'm like, I don't know, man. And then he was crying to his mom afterwards. I'm like, I don't know about that, dude. Anyways, yeah, Kevin, this is a good thought. I'm a little confused as to why we're not doing that more. I would assume it's probably because of his finger, keeping him in the pocket, so he maybe a little less prone to getting hurt or hit. Yeah, but dude, if you look at the stats, he does very well on the run, and I don't know. I kind of think that should happen a little more. Especially since his finger's getting better. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
No doubt. I mean, the one thing I'll say, earlier in the season, he did some rollouts, but that was kind of early on when he ended up getting his finger injured. My thing is, I want him to be able to do a little bit more pump fake, just to kind of show that I'm rolling out. Pump fake, just kind of keep the defense honest with you. And then you could choose if you want to run, or you could see a guy kind of come up to be able to try to tackle you, and you got a free open receiver. I want to see more of that. Patrick Mahomes does that all the time. He does it even after he goes past the line of scrimmage. Like,
yep.
just to do it, like, just show a little pump fake. Just show the threat there. Don't make it so one-dimensional. And I love it when Justin Herbert rolls out of the pocket. I mean, it's probably one of the best strategies, in my opinion, to do that. Especially, I think for this game would be a great one to go with.
Yeah, I'm just a little shocked as to why we're not doing it more frequently. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of thoughts on Will Clapp. I think he's doing okay. The one thing you have to say though is that he's not Corey Linsley. Corey Linsley's arguably one of the best centers in the league.
Yeah,
but secondarily, the center also is involved in putting the pass protection out there, right? So, you can make arguments. The one thing I will say also though about Moore's offense is he's kept the blocking scheme very simple, right? So I think that's where Lombardi was a little different, right? There was a lot more pulling and different things. And there's still some of that as well, but a lot of it's zone reads and pretty simple blocking schemes, compared to what you saw with Lombardi. So I think that's a good thing.
I was going to say, did you read that article talking about what Corey Linsley's been doing with the team since he's been out?
He's like a coach, basically.
He's basically a coach. Cool. And
he
gives each of the players like highlight reels and things that they could work on, like videos. He like makes videos for each of the guys.
That's cool.
I think that's awesome. And I mean, if Corey Linsley's career is over with, I would not be surprised if they just bring him in as like a coach. Like I 100% think that's what's going to happen.
He's a very smart guy. Yep.
Very smart guy. I mean, the guy, all pro center. I mean, it makes total sense to bring him in as like an offensive line assistant of some sort.
Yeah, I think that'll happen. With Lowe and DJ, hopefully middle field is off limits again. Yeah, I mean, they look good. They played nasty, dude. They really did. And Aloe, is he better than DJ? Well, I think they both had very good games last week. But I think that this defense finally figured out its identity these past two games.
Yep.
So, that's why I really do believe this game is probably the most important game, right? I do think that, yes, we beat two teams that are playing okay. Well, actually, you can't say that about the Jets, guys. They won 3 games in a row, right? And their defense was very good. I believe we scored more points than any other team against the Jets, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
So again, and although he is making probably more plays, but
for sure,
I think DJ probably has gotten a little conservative with all those personal foul calls that he got too. So I think he was like, oh, okay, what do I do? And it's tough. It's hard. It's hard to teach an old dog new tricks, right? For sure.
No doubt.
Yeah. But you got to have that dog in you still, though, bro.
Yeah. Dog. Okay. So let me see here. Let me see some other thoughts. Okay. Do you hear about the Jets organization reach out to Davante Adams possibly going to play with Aaron Rodgers again? Oof, boy. That would be crazy.
Maybe just to retire. Probably just to retire together,
Yeah, they did. Apparently what happened is that the Jets reach out to the Raiders and they said, hey, like, let's see if we could get a trade for Davante Adams. And they basically ghosted them. And what was happening is everything internally with the McDaniels and their GM. And they basically were like, why would we do a deal when we're not even going to have these guys at all? So so it sucks for Davante Adams being stuck with the Raiders. It really sucks for him to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's making a lot of money.
He's making a lot of money, that's for sure.
Yeah. Thanks, Brian. Yeah. Please hit that like button, folks, when you get a second. It does help out. And this is an interesting conversation, Marcus, right? Staley's coach of bottom 10 defense. He's got here 0 playoff wins. We should care about win percentage. Are you crazy to compare? Look, I think if Brandon Staley were to lose his job, it would largely just be because he's running the defense and the defense hasn't performed. And by the way, guys, most expensive defense in the NFL right now. Yep. Most expensive defense in the NFL. So now we're 21st now, which, okay, that's getting better. But, if we end up top 10 at the end of the season, then, okay, good gumdrops, right? We're playing good by the end of the season. But again, the reality is, you have to ask yourself this question, right? Like, was he being too stubborn about all of his pattern match schemes and all the things that he was trying to do? I think he was, right? I think he was stepping away from what he envisioned the defense being. He's not letting his players play. And right now they're just playing. And you could tell they're having a good time out there and having fun. That's important.
No doubt. No doubt. That's a big thing. I mean, I know some coaches, they tend to say, whatever sport you're playing, are you having fun out there? Because that's the goal of it. I understand you got all the pressures of all the money and, all that kind of stuff, but bottom line, have fun. It makes a big difference in your game.
Yeah. And not only that, like, again, these guys are sacrificing their bodies, right? They're out there doing a lot, right? And you could tell when teams are giving up on their coaches, they're like, we're done. I mean, that's exactly what happened to the Raiders. Yep. Man, by the way, that locker room scene, them smoking cigars after that win, I was like, look at these freaking clowns, dude. I was so unimpressed. I was like, oh my God, how could you be a Raiders fan at this moment? I was like, this is gross. Gross.
No doubt.
Yeah, and again, guys, we do put a lot of effort into the channel. Like I said, if you can like and subscribe, that would be very grateful. We are very appreciative. So
always.
Yeah. James coming down to Arizona, baby, with my cats. Oh, that's right. Yeah. He's a Arizona fan, right?
No, Kentucky fan.
Oh, Kentucky. That's right.
So basketball. Yep. He was talking about like March Madness. So he's already saying that they're going to be out there for March Madness, basically, or out here, I should say, in Arizona. So.
All right, that's cool.
It's still early, my man, my baby.
My baby. Hey, look, I'll tell you what. Again, we're going to get Palmer back, which is big. You got Allen. Hopefully, Allen can stay healthy. We got Palmer. Let's get QJ heated up.
Dude.
We got Guyton. We got Davis. We got all the guys. We got more weapons than most teams in the NFL. So, and we got Herbie, dude. So, look, I think we'll be fine. So, yeah, I think we'll be good. Brandon Mitchell, I'm bringing my friends to the game. New Chargers fans. Okay. Hey, by the way, you need to link up with Kyle. Kyle will be at this game. Unfortunately, the other two more important bros are not going to be there.
Wow. Wow.
Man.
Ooh.
Gee.
Yeah. Emotional damage.
That's Kyle's heart right now.
That's Kyle's heart. No. But hey, Brandon, you got to go to Thunder Alley too, though, man. You got to get there early. Yo, you got to go check it out, guys. Go to Thunder Alley. It is a freaking blast.
Yeah,
blast.
Yep, it's always good times.
Yeah. So we'll go to a couple more questions here, and then we'll be good to go. Do you think Guyton shows up this week? Boy, I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think so. I think he'll have something.
I think they were playing him a little differently, though. Like I always imagined the Guyton just being that field stretcher, just go downfield, throw the ball, and they were like putting him in routes and stuff too. And I think they just need to go back to that. Like don't try to like make him do anything more than that. Just go out, spread the field out, just go downfield, just go, and just give him go routes all the time. But yeah, I mean, we need him. We definitely need him right now. We definitely need him. So hope so.
Yeah. Yeah. He's definitely getting his feet underneath him for sure, though. Original for sure. I mean, again, it's tough, right? I mean, guy hasn't really played football in a whole year at this point,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm a finely tuned athletic machine. You know what I mean? I play softball, I play pickleball. I'm a savage, dude. You
listen to the guy over here.
Again, what's that? I was even playing volleyball last night, bros. Come on. I was playing volleyball.
It
was freaking sick. You're digging it out. It was pretty sick, dude. I got a little highlight reel. What was that? Okay, moving on. Here we go. Okay. What's going on, boys? I'm taking +5 the Chargers, knowing it'll be a battle. Hey, I like that.
Yeah.
Dude, look, I think they can do it, man. Look, the team's got plenty of momentum, tons of momentum. So I like it.
Yep.
Yeah, this is a good point. This is exactly what we're talking about. He needs to quit being a control freak. And he is, guys.
Yeah.
Derek Ainsley, I still think he should pass the calling duties to Derek Ainsley, but he's not doing that either.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, the defense is playing differently now since that Chiefs halftime game, or the halftime after the Chiefs. Wait, whatever. Anyways, third, fourth quarter of the Chiefs game. Either way.
Yeah, we talked about Harbaugh, the coaching ban, all the above. Yeah. I think you're right. I think the defense gave them the business, dude. I think they put their feet to the fire. What was it? Tell the Truth Monday, something like that. That's what they started doing.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yep. So they can say what they want to say to the coaches, and And I think now they're finally playing like they want to play, right? But that's good though, guys, because like the players on the field are taking ownership at this point, right? That's what you want. Coaches can only get you so far, guys. That's the truth, right? And by the way, speaking of JC Jackson, you guys hear about what's happening to him? He is not traveling with the Patriots. They benched him.
They benched him.
The guy's a freaking head case. I don't know what's going on there. So
yeah, man, something's up with him for sure. Like that's crazy. Now it's like I mean, that honestly that makes me more mad because we're still paying the fool and he's not even playing for them either. So it's like, jeez.
Yeah. So again, clearly there's some problems with that guy to begin with, and it wasn't fixed when he went to the Patriots. But again, I do think going back to the defense specifically, I think the offense is always going to score points. They're going to score points. They're going to score a few points here and there. I think 3 touchdowns can happen no matter what against most teams. But if we can just get the defense to take ownership, which they are, the defensive line is communicating. By the way, you guys realize when they're running stunts, that's usually not a play call. They're just 4 guys on the line, and then they discuss, all right, I'm going to run a stunt inside, you run a stunt outside, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. A lot of that just is them making decisions on how they want to play on third down. And that goes a long way, right? I mean, they might do an edge blitz or whatever, corner blitz, but a lot of times that's just the defensive line communicating on what they're doing. And you cannot say enough about Nick Williams and Austin Johnson. Those guys are nasty, dude. They're good. They do a great job of holding those gaps down. So I'm hyped on them.
Yep, most definitely. I mean, even to say Bash is having a pretty good year so far too. I mean,
Bash,
it's really good. I mean, obviously Morgan Fox, he's doing really, really well. I mean, he's kind of a part of those 4 core players that on third down rush or pass rush situation, they do a phenomenal job together.
Yeah, and again, you're right. It was pretty much just the Chiefs is the only game. They're playing good teams, but I think the Chargers are playing with momentum, and it'll be interesting to see how. And it's in SoFi. I really hope the fans show up, man. I mean, it's guys, if you're there, be loud, please. And Q, if you the Snake Sports Talk Show, I did a video breakdown on the offense, and that first play to Q, I felt like he played it pretty soft. Now, again, it was a little underthrown ball. Sauce was covering Q, but I wanted to see Q jump up and be aggressive, at least throw his body into Sauce, maybe draw a pass interference call. That's what Mike Williams would have done. But using his hands, being more aggressive to the ball, he needs to get better at that. I agree to you as well.
Yeah.
I don't know why they don't put him in the slot more. I think the reason why I believe Allen was in the slot most of the time against the Jets, if I remember correctly. So that's probably why they didn't do it specifically against the Jets. But again, I like him in the slot as well too, because you can just run a real quick slant, something right up the middle, easy yardage right there.
Yep.
So
I agree. It's funny you're kind of comparing him to Tyrell Williams. That actually kind of makes a lot of sense. Tyrell Williams was a stud, and it took him a while to be able to get things rolling. But, we need to be able to see more from QJ for sure.
Savor the flavor. Lions fan here. Good to see you here. Yeah, he's on Twitch as well too, guys.
Nice.
So
nice.
We're on all the platforms, folks. We're on all the social medias. We're on all of that stuff. It's good stuff.
Kind of a big deal around here, guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna put my volleyball highlight reel out there too, guys. I'm gonna put that on the channel. You guys will enjoy it. It's pretty sweet.
Oh man. Jeez.
This guy.
Don't even worry about it. Slide whistle. Where'd that come from? Good job. Hey. That's a good one. That's a good one. I like that one.
You just took your own horn over here, man, constantly. Shoot.
4 home runs in a single game. All right, guys, let's maybe wrap up final thoughts here, okay?
Yeah.
All right.
My God. Well, I'll throw my final thoughts out there, man. This is going to be a dogfight. I think actually, who was it? Oh gosh, somebody asked me, what was it? Larry A said, "Hey, break the curse right now and make the score prediction. Do it." I'm scared. I'm scared to do a prediction. I don't. I'm scared, but I do think it's a difference of 3 points. It's definitely a difference of 3 points with this team. And you know what? Look, this team has to get going quickly and early on in this game. We cannot sit there and try to think second half is going to be our savior unless we finally figure out a way to be able to really balance out our offense throughout this game. I think we have the momentum coming into this game. They're coming off a bye. They're probably going to be a little slow coming out of the gates. Exploit that as much as you possibly can, guys. So I think it's really, really, we got to get going fast and quick. We got to score. Dude, if we could get all three phases roaring like what we had last week, this is going to be awesome. And this is a big game for momentum for the rest of the season where we could really go on a nice, solid run to potentially get to the playoffs. So I'm ready for this game. I'm very excited about this game.
All ass, no breaks. That's right,
That's
dude.
right.
That's it. All ass, no breaks. Yeah. And then hit us up on IG, Twitter, whatever. Or actually, there's an email link down below too, so hit us up there also. Yeah, we'd love to chat with you. We'll come on anytime. It's always fun. Kyle, you want to go, or would you like me to go? Final thoughts.
Yeah, that's cool. I'll throw some final thoughts there. Yeah. So, like I said, James kind of hit the nail on the head there too. This is going to be kind of a brutal game. I feel like a lot of ways. I think it's going to be very defensive, or at least it needs to be in order to do this thing. And like Snake Sports talk show, he mentioned that before. He's just like, yeah, that the last two games we've held the teams under 19 points. So that's a huge thing. And so we have a lot of positive momentum going into this game. And that's going to be really good for us for sure. Yes, we do have a little bit of a shorter week going into this game, but I think we should be okay with it. And hopefully they'll have a bit of a slump coming off of a bye. Just because, they don't have the game time reps. They may have been going around to visit their colleges or whatever, some games or something like that, but I think we have a really good shot at this game, and under a 3-point game is definitely in the realm of possibility. And I feel like it's actually going to be like a heart attack game for us too. It's going to come all the way down to the last second of the fourth quarter.
Yeah. So and Larry, we threw the merch link out there at the bottom there. And again, Savor the Flavor, always good to see you. Outside looking in, Chargers have some good momentum. Highlights taking away the big play. Herbie's going to be electric. And it's going to be a close game. It's going to be a close game. I mean, yeah, and awesome. Yeah. By the way, I've been to Detroit, so I've been out there. I've been to the Detroit Lions game. I went to Big House. Went to Michigan State game at the Big House. That's pretty fun. So I know that area very well and been there for work quite a bit. But I'll just say this, guys. The nice thing is, just as Savor the Flavor said, we have some nice momentum, man. I mean, the defense is looking great. Offense looks good. They can definitely improve. Not having Williams out there and Palmer is definitely a step down. But we need to get Everett, Palmer, and we need to get a running game going, right? I think it's going to be good stuff, man. I think bottom line, Brandon, I think we win by, I'm going to say 10 points again. I said 10 points last time, and I said 10 points the time before, and we won both games. As long as we win, I'm going to say 27. I'm going to say 27-17. I'm going to say that. I'm going to say 27-17. So 10 points. That's my thought.
Fair.
But
that's fair.
But again, guys, look, the good news is that I think the team is finally motivated. I felt like we were a little off. I don't know why we started so sluggish at the beginning of the season, but now I think the team is invested. You can tell they care about each other, and they're looking at each other in the locker room saying, I'm gonna work my ass off for you because I care about you as a person. And I don't think you go anywhere in any sports without that. And I think they finally have made that happen as a team. So it's just nothing but love for everybody, man. 31-23 Chargers. I love that, dude.
No doubt.
2 thumbs up. All righty, guys. Well, I'm excited. Okay, we'll throw out some more content for you guys as well, too. And again, I'll do a film study video as soon as the all 22 footage is available. I'll get it out as soon as possible. We'll try and break up a few of those as shorts and do the same videos as we always do each week, guys. So,
yep. And guys, remember, we will do a post-game live, too. So
yes.
Remember that.
Post-game is always live right after the game. So check us out for sure. And we like to keep it spicy. It's a lot of fun. So, yeah, a lot of fun. We like to keep it spicy. So, all righty, guys. Well, we're the Bolt Bros. See you guys in the next one.
Go.
Yeah.